Well, hi, my name's Andy Tidy and welcome back to another episode of Canal Hunter. If you've been following this channel of late, you'll realise that we've sold the motorboat Wandering Bark and the Jam Butty, and we've bought a new craft from which we're going to trade. It's called Briar Rose and I'm aboard today. This boat has been beautifully maintained over the years, but she is showing signs of her age. She's 20 years old, so needs a little bit of TLC here and there to get it ready for next trading season. One of the things which bothered us right from the outset were the copper fiddle rails. If you're not quite sure what a fiddle rail is, it's little thin pieces of metal which hold the curtains back or run along the front edges of shelves to stop things falling off as you're on the move. The fiddle rails on Briar Rose are made of brass, but over the years that has tarnished and it's turned into a very dull brown kind of look, which is not so attractive as the original bright shiny brass. Now, I'd like to tell you that all I needed to do to bring these things back to gleaming loveliness was to wave a little bit of brasso at them and hey presto, they were turned back. Sadly, that's not the case. And I think I could rub these all day long and extract every genie in the land and they still wouldn't give me a gleam in return. What they need is a metal polisher, but I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story about that. Well, several years ago we decided we'd take our boats across London. We'd go across to the East End, then up the Lee and the Stort, and we would attend the Ware Boat Festival. When we arrived at Ware, we were moored a few boats in front of this most gorgeous Dutch barge called Edith. And on it there was a lovely couple who wandered over and had a chat with us. Brett was busy admiring the butty and he spent several minutes just sort of contemplating it, and then he just looked up at me and said, "Do you know, Andy, that is a lovely little butty, but I'm afraid your knob lets you down." Well, that caught my attention. "What's wrong with my knob?" I said. He pointed at the mushroom vent in the middle. He said, "It's brass and it's all tarnished. It should be shiny." I looked at it and I said, "Well, I've tried with brasso. I've tried every kind of brass cleaner going. And as much as I rub it, it doesn't come up to a shine. I don't think it's brass at all. I think it's some rotten old alloy." "No," he said, "I've worked in the metal industry all my life and I know brass when I see it. That is a brass mushroom vent. What you need, Andy, is a metal polishing machine." "Well," says I don't happen to have a metal polishing machine on my boat." And he just looked at me very solemnly and said, "Well, I do." He said, "If you like to take your mushroom vent off, I'll get my polishing machine out and I'll buff it up for you." Well, one doesn't look a gift horse in the mouth, does one? So I took the mushroom vent off and they said, "Well, how about the collar?" He said, "Well, if it comes off, I'll shine it for you." So I quickly undid the screws and pulled it off. Well, he walked away and I carried on selling my jams. 20 minutes later, Brett walks back and in his hands there was this gleaming orb of brass loveliness. It was absolutely immaculate, still warm to the touch. Well, I screwed it back on and he said, "Just keep on top of it, don't let it get tarnished again." Well, I kept polishing it up every festival, and in the winter it just sat out in the rain and a bit of brasso later and it all came back good every season. Fantastic. But that wasn't the end of the story. Then I'm going along to different canal festivals and another person comes along and he looks at the butty and gives it a very appraising eye and looks at the gleaming orb of loveliness sitting on the top and said, Well, Andy, I must say your butty is lovely and your mushroom vent does you justice, but it's your rims that let you down." And I looked down at the windows, the portholes, and of course they were all tarnished as well. So I tried to have a go at them with brasso too, but no avail. It didn't achieve anything more. What I knew I needed was a metal polishing machine, but I hadn't got one. A couple of years later, we're heading down the River Thames again, and we knew that Edith was going to be moored up fairly close by, so we arranged to have a meal one evening. And I rather cheekily sent a message to Brett and said, "Don't suppose you'd like to polish up my porthole rims, would you?" "By all means," he said. So we had a barbecue, and during the course of the barbecue, in the middle of a tropical downpour, we put about 6 extension leads together. He set up his polishing machine and he polished my portholes. So I then had lovely portholes and a lovely knob. Which is a very long way of saying that if you want to make these brass things come back to life, you need the right tool for the job, and that is a metal polishing machine. So I invested the princely sum of £25 into a kit which would convert my bench grinder into a metal buffing machine. Well, there is no way I'm bringing down my bench grinder onto the boat, so what I'm going to need to do is to take off the brasswork and take it back home, and I will show you how it works back in my workshop. So let's get some of these heavily tarnished fiddle rails off from around the windows, and I'll take them home and I'll then set up the camera there and show you what was involved in trying to bring them back to life. Well, you've caught up with me back in the workshop, and I've brought all of that tarnished brassware with me, and I'm going to give it a good polish up. It's a 4-stage process, and I will show you a little bit through each one. If you remember, the tarnished rings start off looking like this. They are a pretty manky bunch. That's 20 years worth of tarnish on there. And with a little bit of polishing in the first stage of the process, they transform into these. Also, there are the rods themselves. Equally tarnished, equally dirty. But as you can see, I've made a start on this one rod, and the top section of it's come up nice and polished. Lower down, it still needs quite a lot of attention. So I'll give you a bit of a walk through each stage of this process. To do this job, I just didn't have the tools. I mean, as I said on the boat, Brasso is never going to cut it in this situation. And you need a proper metal polishing kit. Well, I got a starter kit from Promax. It only cost about £25, and what you have is a very abrasive wheel to start off the job. That's what I've been doing most of my cutting on to date. Then you have the stitched wheel, which kind of is the middle level of buffing, and it takes it up from a dull shine to a fairly good shine. And then finally there is the soft buffing wheel, and alongside that you use the abrasives. It's the brown one to get started, and then the blue one to finish. They do also supply the necessary abrasives to do steel polishing as well, but for this one we're just talking about brass. It comes with a number of different abrasive blocks embedded into wax, but as you can see here, I've been using the most abrasive ones so far, and I'm rapidly running out. I certainly haven't got enough to finish the job. So I've gone back to Promax, and they're going to supply me with some more abrasives and also some bigger wheels. But it sort of makes sense to start with a kit like this. At least that way you can work out what works and what doesn't. In order to do the job effectively, the kit comes complete with an adaptation collar, which turns my bench grinder into a polishing machine. The other end of the bench grinder, well, it is still got a grinding wheel on, but I've got a bit of a guard across there so I don't inadvertently touch it with my other hand. You really wouldn't want to do that. Now I think I'm going to be at this for several hours, so what I'll do is I will just take a few segments of the different phases and let you see. But we start off by taking the raw, dirty, oxidized brass, and we give it a first buff up on the first level of cleaning. That certainly is the most dramatic phase of the process. So first of all, we're going to apply a bit of the cutting compound onto the disc, and then just start to polish it. You can see how dull it is. So you can see it's starting to come up. I still need to work into the edges, but we're starting to get some brightness. So this is the before and after. About 10 minutes of polishing has taken it from this heavily tarnished version to the one with a really good gleam on it, but it's still got another couple of stages left to go before it gets to a finished state. We're going to move on to one of the curtain rings now and have a go at that. It's sure to apply a bit more of the cutting compound. It's the cutting compound that makes it work. And there is the end result. It's a dramatic improvement when you compare it to the tarnished version. Polishing up the straight curtain rods, pretty much the same. Just watch out you can't touch that wheel. That could do you a real mischief. So you go along centimetre by centimetre, gradually taking off all the old tarnish. I'll come back to you on the next phase. Swap over the wheels, nothing more complicated than spin it off anti-clockwise, spin the next one on clockwise. We just refer to this one as the stitched one. The first one was made of sort of sisal or hemp, this one is made of cotton. So we need to get it cracking, put another load of abrasive onto it, same abrasive, and then give it another polish. So I'll just whiz through with one holder and one ring, and we'll take it up to the next level. So having moved through the second of the wheels, we now moved on to the finest and the lightest of the cutting compounds. So again, we just screw that one on clockwise till it tightens up. You see this one's very squishy. And for this one we move away from using the brown compound to using the blue. So we're going to give this, and this is the final buffing up stage. So we've gone through sort of a coarse grind, medium grind, and now the final buffing up. So this should come up really nicely. And then to give it a final luster and to give it a little bit of protection, a little bit of the final polishing compound. This is kind of like a glorified version of Brasso. It just gets the last of the scratches out of the way and gives it a lovely shine. So this is the 4 stages of the cleaning process. This is the tarnished curtain rings. Unfortunately, I forgot to leave off one of the holders, but nonetheless you can see how dirty and corroded they are. The first buffing gives it a bit of a dull gleam, but certainly makes a huge difference. Then we move on to the middle wheel, which gives it a better, and it starts to bring it up into a real gloss finish. And then finally there's the buffing wheel, which takes it to that amazing restored gleaming brass finish. So that's it really, you just keep on going. It takes hours and hours to do, but it's rather satisfying when it's finished. Well, I know that I'm going to run out of consumables on this project. I can see that the main abrasive is wearing right down, and the most abrasive wheel is also wearing down as well. So I've ordered some more of those, but somewhat larger quantities. That will keep us going as we go into the next phases of the brass restoration. But that's the finishing stage. We'll go back to the boat and we'll put them up on the walls and see how they look. So we go from this very heavily tarnished curtain rail, which is almost brown, through to this amazingly bright, shiny version. I genuinely am telling you, these are the same curtain rails. Well, I hope you enjoy this episode of Canal Hunter based around some DIY. I've taken some old fiddle rails which have 20 years of accumulated crud. I've cleaned them up, brought them back to as new condition. So, till the next project, cheerio and happy hunting.